Alright, welcome to the validating video. So we've gone ahead and etched our circuit boards, so the Oracle, the press and peel, and our UV PCB. As you can see, our UV one looks a little bit different. We've accelerated the schedule on it, so that way one of our testers for the reflow oven is able to get the latest model out. So this one has already been validated. We've put the solder mask on it. It's drilled for parts. It's ready to solder. So we'll actually set that one to the side. So today we'll be using the Oracle 651 to validate, and then the press and peel blue validation. Alright, so we're starting with, this is page 21 of the SPROOS project document. What we've done here is we've gone ahead and kind of labeled all the points where they're supposed to be connected to ground, and then anything with like a 1 is supposed to be connected to other 1s. 2's connected to 2's, but never a 2 connected to 1. Alright, so to start out with, I'm just using a handheld multimeter on the continuance setting, so that way if they're connected together, I get that nice little chirp. We're going to begin with checking to make sure the ground pads are actually connected to ground, so I'll leave this on our ground plane out here, and if this one is connected, it should chirp. Alright, those are good. And then we'll just continue on going through. And so on. Going down here. And then from there, we're going to check and make sure that anything that isn't supposed to be connected to ground isn't connected to ground. So we'll begin with these ones up here. Alright, nothing. Uh-oh, there's an issue. So, we know this one's connected to ground, so I'm going to get a Sharpie and make a dot on it, so I know that one's connected to ground. And then we can go through and kind of take a look at the wire and see where it is. It looks like right in here is where it's touching it. So we've got a handheld engraver that we picked up at Harbor Freight for $2.99. And then we're actually going to engrave this off. And you want to be very careful to make sure you do it more on the ground plane than on the wire, or else if you break the wire, we have to go through and correct that. So. Alright, we'll check and see how that went. So ground. Oh cool, so we were getting no contact on those. Let's see, and we've got a ground plane down here. It looks like we've kind of found that. So continuing on, I'll start over here and make sure nothing is. So it looks like we've got another one. Let's see down here as well. So if we look again, we've got one right in here that we need to go in. We'll just take that engraver again. Make sure we don't. We'll check now and make sure it's not connected. So obviously I haven't quite finished it yet. Alright, so it must be connected in more than one spot, because it looks like I've taken that. I'll clean it up a little bit more and see. Sorry if my head falls into the shot. I'm trying to get a closer look at it. Alright, and let's see where else this is connected at. Alright, so right here was pretty tricky because we can see that it's connected together, but we couldn't figure out where it was connected. And we figured out it had to be somewhere in here, because now what we've done is we've actually disconnected the ground plane in this section. So if we do it, it's not connected, but if we do it down here where this ground plane was, we get that chirp. So we fixed that one. The next part is to continue. We'll check with this one. Alright, so we know this one's connected. Let's see. It looks like right in here. And we'll just take our handy dandy little engraver. We've engraved it away. Now we'll check and see. Alright. And it's still connected, so we haven't broke the wire. I believe I've checked all of the grounds now. Alright, so next is to make sure that none of the pads are connected. With the spruce, we've made it so that way no adjacent pad is connected together. We call this leapfrogging. So we will take these two and go, alright. Now those are connected. And just going down, making sure nothing chirps at us. And then there's one more problem that we want to show you how to fix on these boards. Alright, so we've already gone through and validated the circuit board. As you can see, I've got some breaks right in here. And we've actually gone ahead and repaired one of them. And then we've got another one down here. But we'll take a closer look at our repair. Alright, so what we've done to repair these brakes is we've tinned kind of both sides of the brake, and then taken just a little itty bitty strand of speaker wire and actually just soldered it straight across. I've got another strand laying over it to kind of show you how we've done it up. And then after we've soldered it, we've just taken a pair of nail clippers and clipped it as close as we can down to the end right here, so that way it sits flush. And then as we can see that it is continuous between the brakes. Alright, so what I've done is I've put a little bit of flux and then tinned both sides of the brake, and I've taken a strand of speaker wire and fluxed it, and now all I have to do is come in and just solder both sides of it. And then the next step is to come in and clip this as flush as we can. And now we'll test, make sure that is continuous on both sides of the brake. So, and now the next thing is to make sure it's not connected to the ground plane. So after the brake and before the brake, so that's a whole repair done. One thing we haven't mentioned is that it is possible to have a break in your trace that is too small to see with the naked eye, and possibly not even be able to see with a microscope. If this is the case, what you'll do is you'll actually flux the whole trace and run a bead of solder along it. 90% of the time this seems to fix it. If it doesn't work, what you'll do is you'll actually create a jumper that will go from where that trace begins to where it ends.
Right.
Validation is basically making sure what's supposed to be connected is connected and what's not supposed to be connected isn't connected. Now that we have a validated circuit board, the next video we're going to go through and solder the components onto it. Have fun making your boards. We'll see you around campus.